I will talk about each of the options available now, and I will start with gastric bypass. First of all, this represents the food pipe, the esophagus. It's connected to this large organ here, which we call stomach. From the stomach, we have what we call the small intestine. The changes that we have brought out here include dividing the stomach right about this level, totally cutting it here so that a small portion of the stomach is still attached to the food pipe. Then we've cut the intestine here, and one end of the cut intestine has been taken up all the way and connected with this little stomach here. The other cut end of the intestine has been reconnected to the side of the intestine that we brought up to complete the loop. So what is the result? The result is you have food coming from the food pipe, entering a very small stomach so that the person can feel full early, and then from there going directly to the intestine. The most common question is, what happens to this big stomach there? Well, that actually is still alive. It has good blood supply. It communicates with the rest of the organism. The only thing it cannot do is it cannot process food any longer because it's been detached here. However, it will continue to produce acids and enzymes that will go down here and catch up with the food that will have come from here. We've reduced the amount the person is going to be able to eat because they will feel full early. Instead of having to wait until they have a 3-course meal, barely half of an appetizer is going to fill them up. Secondly, the processing of the food will not start until the food reaches this level. This diagram illustrates the other option that we have, the adjustable gastric banding. Again, let's look at the anatomy. We have the food pipe, we have the stomach, we have the early intestine. As you can see, there is another gadget added to the diagram. That is actually what the adjustable band is. It has a belt, it has tubing, and then this little device here. The little belt is placed on the upper portion of the stomach to tighten it so that when food comes down the food pipe, the food will actually stop right about here for some time. But that time in which the food stays here, our brain thinks the whole stomach is full. So with a very small amount of food, we're achieving a sensation of fullness. Because the food doesn't leave this portion of the stomach too quickly, that sensation of fullness also lasts longer. Two very important tools for weight loss: portion control and hunger control. Conquering hunger is a very important tool for weight loss, and that's what the adjustable band can do. And that constriction creates the delay of passage of food from here to the rest. You will see that there is another portion to this gadget, this little thing called access port, and I will show in a minute what we use that for. In our office, we're actually able to get to this little device with a little needle to adjust the tightness of the band. If the person comes to our office, let's say 2 months after the surgery, and they tell us, "Doctor, I'm eating small amounts and I'm satisfied. I'm not hungry most of the time and my weight loss is good," then we do not need to adjust the band. The band is doing exactly what it is supposed to do. On the other hand, if the person comes and says, "I'm having a hard time keeping my portions down. I'm looking for food all the time. I seem to be hungry and I'm not losing weight," that's a time for us to do the adjustment. One very important message here is that just having the band in place will not do the trick. You have to be able to follow up with your doctors so we can make those adjustments as needed. If the band is loose, hunger will not be controlled. If you can't control hunger, you can't lose weight. Gastric sleeve. With this relatively recently popularized procedure, we actually divide the stomach here, take out this large portion of the stomach, and change the stomach from a sac into a tube, essentially. and that allows us to eat less as well.